I want to go after, identify, and retain everybody to create a world-class product and sell to everybody. If you start and end there, then you start thinking about all these different communities and cultures, et cetera. And that's another word that's becoming a really good buzzword because it's good.
Hello and welcome to the Walk Around podcast powered by JM&A Group. I am one of your hosts, Marc Spoto, joined by my co-host, Heather Wilkinson. Heather, we are reunited.
And it feels so good.
And it feels so good.
I mean, I feel like it's been a while.
It's been a while. Do you know why it feels so good?
Why?
Because we are in the Sirius XM studios at the fabulous Wynn Las Vegas, joined none other by the man himself, Marc Bland.
And that's M-A-R-C, Marc Bland.
Just like your co-host here. The only way to spell it.
M-A-R-C.
M-A-R-C.
That's the only way. I am surrounded by two intelligent Marcs.
Here we go.
M-A-R-C.
What a start.
What a start. I can't wait to get into it today.
Let's do it.
So we are here with Marc Bland, and Marc is the head of new business development and growth audiences for S&P Global. Marc's responsible for the development and enhancement of S&P's Global Mobility's automotive OEM relationships. And I've had the pleasure for so many years to hear Marc report the news and report the facts based on data.
All day.
All day. What is the industry telling us from an OEM perspective? Who are our buyers? Who should our OEMs be looking at as future dealers? How should dealers be looking at their customer bases? Marc works across organizations to ensure the products and custom solutions match the unique marketing needs for OEMs and brands.
What a bio.
What a bio.
Unbelievable.
Man.
So tell us, Marc, first, before we get into the facts and the data and what the story is telling us, how did you get involved with S&P Mobility? What was your journey to this?
Oh, they bought my services. No, that's true, but some truth to it. I was originally with a company called the Polk Company, P-O-L-K.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Owned by a gentleman named
R.L.
Stephen
Polk.
Polk. R.L. Polk.
Oh, yes. That's
Ralph
all
Lane
the data
Polk, owned by Stephen Polk. And then we were acquired by IHS, the world leader in forecasting.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we had the best new and used vehicle registration. They were the leaders in forecasting. Mm-hmm. They acquired us. And then this really sharp company called Markit, M-A-R-K-I-T, which were how we are in auto. They were like that for Wall Street and financial data. Acquired both of us. So we became IHS Markit. Mm-hmm. And then S&P came along and decided to have a greater footprint in auto, but didn't want to manufacture cars or sell cars, and they acquired data, which is going to be good anytime, all the time. So they acquired us for a substantial amount. And so that's how I became part of S&P. But I started with the Polk Company and migrated through IHS Markit, now S&P.
So you've been in data a long time.
26 years.
You see it, you know what it means.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us some insights. What are you seeing right now in the automotive business that is going to be really important for dealers to be paying attention to?
So the first thing is it's a short, really quick story that talked to multiple leaders in multiple industries. Again, pharma, home goods, telecom, and automotive, of course. And the one thing they said will never change is that these three things: gross revenue, net profits, and a focus on consumers. Right? And if you need
gross revenue, net profits, and focus on consumers.
And if you need a fourth, it's competition for all three of those things.
Right.
Never going out of style. So the second piece that these smart people have told me across multiple industries is they all, again, dealer principals, male and female, executives from all of these industries have said they are all seeking the best and most talented individuals, whether they're brown, black, Asian, Hispanic, male or female, tall or short, that can help them build products that they ultimately build the best product, whether it be a car, a truck, or anything in between, that they can sell to guess who? Everybody.
Right.
And so now we're at NAMAD, right? That's the National Association of Minority Auto Dealers. But NAMAD is really, really important because they represent all of the Black or African American, Asian, Hispanic, male and female dealers across the country. That's a big portion of everybody. So I just want to say that first to say that's why this juncture is so important. Because if you're seeking to be with everybody, you need to be kind of everywhere talking to all people. And today's or this week's event is really, really important. So now what's going on? Is there some change in our marketplace, right? What you should say, what you shouldn't say, what you should do, where you shouldn't be. But if you just think about what I just talked about, they want to bring in everybody to help them build world-class products to sell to everybody. Then all of us are a subset of that everybody. You need to be out and reach. And so you need to be at places like NAMAD. And so when you think about auto, there are some groups that are doing really, really well and have really grasped that concept and are running with it.
And who are those groups? Tell us about that. What's the data telling us?
The data says, and I'm going by based on who's winning, right? I mean, who's selling the most? I mean, when you start thinking about that, Toyota, it's out there. Honda, General Motors has an army of folks that are really focused on these things. The luxury brands are really digging in because even though on the surface people say, the media may say that things are bad, people are still spending big on the things that they like, which are houses, but also automotive.
And I think it's cross all races.
No doubt.
In what you're saying. And you're pointing out Toyota, General Motors, and what you're saying are the demographics of those buyers? Is that what the data is telling us, that it's a cross representation?
It's definitely a cross representation, and you can't segment out. The key word is out. You have to be all in with everybody.
Yeah. So, Mark, let's get into that a little bit, because something that you've said many times is if you're not engaging diverse buyers, you're not growing as a dealer.
Yep,
so what do you see in the data in terms of who is driving that growth right now?
So I just talked about in a panel earlier today, when you think about alternative powertrain. So that is not just EVs, which are most talked about, but steadily growing, but also hybrids. Right? You can't forget about hybrids. And I say that because I think hybrid, based on the data, is the true bridge from ICE or gas ultimately to EV, is to take that step.
Stepping stone.
It's that step, and it's that step. But what I showed is I put a slide there. It was very in your face. It said what I call growth audiences.
Right.
That's a new term I reference: Blacks, Asians, Hispanics. Why? Because the census said in 2045 they will become the majority population, right? Growth audiences. The industry is down about 6.5%, 7% from 2021 to 2025 over the past 5 years. Growth audience consumers are only down less than 1%.
And how do you how do you see the difference in the percentages like that?
How do I see the difference?
Yeah, what's that attributed to?
Oh, yeah.
So we look at the economics. You think about affordability.
So you think about the economics. You think about affordability, but you also think about fast-growing populations.
Yeah,
and you can't forget about, just really quick, you can't forget about just the natural bare facts that if I have a fast-growing population, how do we sustain and maintain our lives in the U.S. by earning revenue? How do we do that? By going to work. The key word is going to work. How do you get to work? More often than not, with your own vehicle.
So what do you think dealers should be thinking about in engaging those fast-growing populations?
That you have to just keep the facts in mind and go back to that umbrella statement I expressed earlier. I want to go after, identify, and retain everybody to create a world-class product and sell to everybody. If you start and end there, then you start thinking about all these different communities and cultures, et cetera. And that's another word that's becoming a really good buzzword because it's good. Community. Right? If you start thinking about all these different communities, to say, hey, you know what? If there's 5 communities out there just trying to keep it simple, I'm going to focus on 2. I'm going to negate the other 3. You just blew away 60% of the marketplace.
Right.
Right? Or you kind of left them behind and leaving them to chance. You can't afford to do that. You have to really invest, put people in charge of meeting the needs and understanding what the active triggers are. When I say active triggers, what's going to get them to consider you and ultimately buy what you're selling. For not 2 or 3, but all 5 of those communities.
Do you think it's a matter of the brand reflecting the values of that population, or is it more on the local level at the dealer?
I think it's a combination. And again, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, when you have, and everything starts at the top. No, it sounds cliche, but it really does. If your leader says, hey, there's 5 markets, trying to keep it simple, we want to go after all 5, then everybody below that leader is going to really get in and figure out how can we meet the needs and understand the needs of all 5. If the leader says, oh, well, there's 5 markets, but we're really going to focus on 2, then your organization by default is going to maybe miss the opportunity with 60% of what's out there.
Yeah.
Right. And that's going to just trickle down. It's going to go from the highest level of your strategic platform to your dealers, to your suppliers, to everybody. And that's just what we're seeing. And so there's, again, I called out some groups, but everybody's really trying. But when you start thinking about who's really winning, and we're going to have a program called the DVLs, stands for Diversity, Volume, Leadership Awards, but it's now a really cool acronym, DVLs, where we're going to recognize those organizations at the model level.
From the OEM, from each of the OEMs. So you look at each of the OEMs and you identify
who sold the most vehicles to these growth audiences.
Wow.
And the only way you get on stage, it has nothing to do with your sponsorship level or anything else, is did you sell the most? And the only way you sell the most is by having a really defined strategy with people put in charge to execute that strategy and financial and resources put behind to help the strategy realize itself.
And people that understand those audiences.
Yes.
And, I think one of the things, my Mark S to my right, because again, I've got my Mark S and my Mark B.
Yes.
I'm surrounded by Marks today. The intelligence in this room is just
off the charts.
I mean, just amazing. We need to tone it down. But Mark S, one of the places you were going, and I'd love to double click into this, is from a dealer perspective. At the end of the day, we hear time and time again that the consumers that come into your dealership need to see people that they can identify with.
Absolutely.
And Mark B, you talked about the importance of inclusive. And I think where I'd love to double click into, from a dealer perspective, what should dealers be doing to make sure that they are hitting their gross margins they're looking for, hitting the profitability they want when they're looking at their consumer base and the people that work in their dealerships?
So one of the first things I have to go back historically and show that the prior NAMAD leadership, led by a guy named Damon Lester in the past, but what we did is took the NAMAD groups, we looked their data, and we took my actual registration data for all consumers, right, for all dealers, and overlaid them and came up with a data set that showed and proved that minority or community dealers, right, you choose how you want to call them, but minority or community dealers actually sell more of their product, incrementally more of their inventory to their same community background as the owner. So Black dealers actually sell twice as many units to other Black consumers as their non-growth audience peers. Asians, the same thing, twice as many, and Hispanics 3 times as much. So now the OEMs have really gotten smart and saying, hey, if the census is saying that these groups are going to become the majority population, and we want to stay intact with who could become the majority, because once they become the majority, they're going to act like the majority, either you're in or not, then maybe a great vessel for us to engage and stay in front of them is through these community dealers. And so that's one strategy that's taking shape at different levels at different OEMs, but it's still happening across the board.
Yeah.
Right? Then you turn around and you say to the dealers can't just try to lean on or rest on their community background, but they have to get out into the actual broader community. So I'll give you an example from my past, from a personal perspective. When I was growing up in Detroit many years ago, there was a guy named Melfar Superstar.
Oh, yes.
Before, but why it's important, why it's relevant here is
Mel had his own brand.
I came up like a lot of folks in the inner city, and we had a big thing called PAL, Police Athletic League, football. Probably 20 teams across Detroit. This is one example, but it resonates across the nation with different people. Melfar took the time. He owned Ford and Lincoln stores at the time, but he took the time during like opening day and showed up. If there was 20 teams, he showed up at every game. So there's 10 games you got to come to. He showed up at every game, jumped out of a branded car, put his cape on. See, with the cape on, and said, "Hey,
Melfar Superstar.
Melfar Superstar.
Superman.
You remember
flying.
seeing this?
I remember
being
Melfar
there.
Superstar. Yes, I do.
Being there. But the example I'm giving is he was smart to realize not only am I coming out to put a good vision in these young people's heads or something positive. Hey, be in sports, stay in something constructive and organized instead of being to your own thing and getting in trouble. But it's the parents of all those children and the supporters that are looking at, hey, this is a guy that happens to own a car dealership.
That looks like me.
That took time out to come on and speak to my son. Oh, next month, next week, 6 months from now, I need to buy a car. They're going to remember, hey, let's go support this dealer because he took the time. And it was like free publicity. So the point there is make sure they leverage their natural strength and take that out into the community and make themselves visible on behalf of the brand and themselves.
Yeah, and make that connection.
Yep.
Marc, let's talk a little bit about generational buyers. So Gen Z, millennials, what are some trends you're seeing there? Millennials now have been in the market for some time. Gen Z are emerging. How should dealers be thinking about the way Gen Z and millennial buyers are approaching shopping differently?
So I'll use the old cliche. Some things change and a lot of things stay the same. So yes, these younger, more tech savvy buyers, right, like to do more things on the web, right, on their phone. But at the end of the day, they still need and they still seek a human being, the human touch.
They need that.
Right?
They still need that connection.
They still need that
in
touch.
some instances, validation in their process.
That's one word you can use. It's just they just want. We're human beings at the end of the day. So regardless of the brand, regardless of the car, it's a person selling to and meeting the needs of another person. So whether it be, hey, I went out online, picked the vehicle, had it delivered. When it gets delivered, somebody needs to knock on my door. Hey, I'm talking to another person. Hey, this vehicle that you went online and purchased and ordered is getting off this truck. It's yours. They need to feel me. I need to feel them. It needs to be something that this is the second biggest purchase in most people's lives. A house is number one. A car is a number two. And you probably buy a lot more cars in the time it takes for you to pay off a house. So that's one. The second piece is I don't care what we do. At some point, a car is a mechanical device. Highly technical these days, right? But it's still a mechanical device, and those things can break down or will break down without proper maintenance. And so at that point, you have to engage with a individual that's going to take your car in, service it. How well do they do that? How well do they engage you? Do they treat you like a human being? Right? When you pull in and you're going, woo, I bought from brand A, again, because they're all in this game. I bought this vehicle from brand A. I'm pulling to brand A because I believe in brand. That's why I bought a car from them. But when I pull in, do they recognize me and say, hey, welcome. We've got a long line, but grab yourself a cup of coffee, grab a something that says, you see me. And so all those things can't get lost, even though I think some of the younger buyers, going back to answer your question, are more into the tech. Some things don't change. You still need that human interaction to show that you value me, you value my business, and you appreciate what I've invested in you.
I love what you're saying, whether it's about customer retention or technology that's going on. This is still a human touch-led business. And
absolutely,
whether it is dealers trying to make better connections in their community, you have to consider the human element and the impact that you have on your customers. That's what I'm hearing you say. There's still a tremendous amount of human interaction that you have to get right.
Yeah. So and Mark, I think also what I'm hearing Mark B say is from the OEM perspective is understanding at the end of the day what the data is showing. From what I've heard from Mark today is what's the data showing about who their buyers are? How do they reach their buyers? And then how do they get their dealers to reach those buyers through that community connection? And how OEMs, from what we're hearing, value dealers that are in the community and have that connection.
So on that point, Mark, when you look at the data, is there a segment that you think dealers or OEMs are overlooking? And should they be doing anything differently in getting that correct?
So I'm going to put caution out first, a disclaimer. Anything I say, there's groups that are doing it really, really well. There's groups that are not really getting it all, and I'm protect the innocent. And there's groups in the middle on anything that I want to say, right? So just take that first. I think one of the biggest groups, and I've said it on stage yesterday, today, I'm going to say it again tomorrow. I think the most pivotal and influential group that are sometimes overlooked are women. There's a study that came out that said women influence, let me say this, women have 85% influence on all big purchases for the home. You know what one of the biggest purchases for the home? A car, truck, or SUV.
Well, Mark, there's only one CEO in my household, and it is my wife. There's no doubt about that.
Well, as we can see, who's seated in the middle of this table?
And so, no, really. And I've said the same thing. My wife's 5'4.5". I'm 6 feet. I can have all the money sitting on the table. And she goes, I don't think that's good for you or the family. That vehicle will never show up as part of our fleet.
So when you think about dealers engaging better with women buyers, what are you seeing dealers get right that other dealers can start to do differently?
And so I'm glad you asked that, because that's where I was going to go. What I've seen them get right is, one, address the woman just like we would address, hear me out, just like we would address the man. Meaning, if a woman comes in by herself, hey, how are you doing? What is your name? What are you interested in? How can I help you? Because it's her that's there. I'll give you the inverse. Don't say, hey, who's the lucky guy? Or what does he want? No, she's there.
Right.
Recognize her. Ask her, what can you do for her? And follow that path. That's the first thing.
It sounds so simple, but it's often overlooked.
A lot of the things that we talk about, and I'm blessed that we have at S&P, we have data to back these things up, to support it, right? So when I say data to back it up, why are women important? Because 42% of all new vehicle deals come from women. 42%. When I say new vehicle deals, that means we're not talking about the percentage of vehicles they're driving. That's probably 80, 70, 80, 90%, right? No, I'm talking about women got up that morning. I'm going to the dealership. I'm going to pick out the car. I'm going to test drive it. I want to sit down with F&I, and I want to sign my woman or female name to this registration.
As the owner.
As the owner.
And you also shared that over 80% of women influence that car buying or that car purchase, correct? Women influence
85% of all new vehicle deals. So there's only 15 deals that a woman, based on this statistic, does not influence. Only 15 out of every 100 deals a woman does not have some direct or indirect. And you said it, I said it. Hey, our wives go, hey, you going out? I know you want whatever. Don't bring that back. Bring this other thing back. And guess what? We're going to bring back that other thing. Okay, so that piece I think is important. That's one. Two, I'm going to say one of the things that could be better is just the consistency in the reach or the approach to these growth audiences. It's not okay to say, hey, you know what? In these first 3 months of a 12-month calendar, we're going to go after the growth audience. In the other 9 months, we're not doing that. If you get in the game, you have to be all in all the time. Because when you're not, and your competitor is, these consumers recognize that.
That's right.
And I'll say that if hey, you decide, hey, there's 5, again, I try to keep it simple. There's 5 major events happening that are consumer focused happening around the auto industry. Oh, we're going to go real big on this first one and we're going to miss the next 4. But you have a competitor, OEM that says, no, we're going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're big at the first one, but by the time you get the second, definitely by the time you get to the third, they're going, hey, where is that group? We haven't seen them the last 2 events. But this other group is here all the time. They really get it. They really appreciate us, and they really love us and show that. Where the first one, you made it real big on that one, but you're not at the other 4. It's going to be noticed.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
Well, Marc, we can ask you 1,000 questions all day. We know you're a busy guy, and we thought we would transition into our closing segment.
All right, cool.
Which is our best bets.
Best bets.
All
We're
right.
in Vegas. We're at the Wynn.
Yes.
I don't know if you're a gambling man. Personally, I am.
You know, it's just fun. I'm
Wynn
not
in
a
Vegas,
gambler, but
right?
I'll have fun, yeah.
All right, so here's how it's going to
I'm
work.
ready.
We're going to throw out some trends, some statements, some hot takes
Okay.
at you, and we're going to ask you, bet it or forget it.
Bet it or forget is what I'm going to say. You got it. Let's
All
go.
right.
Let's
And
go.
feel free to expand on the why, but here we
Okay.
go. Let's start with the first one. Gen Z buyers will expect to build and price a car entirely on TikTok. Bet it or forget it.
Forget it.
Really?
Tell us more.
Not TikTok. I think they'll look at other sites. And again, I know there's a lot of them, but when you think about like car gurus, I think those things come up first, where you can actually go out, say, I'm looking at a certain vehicle, see what's out there, see what the ranges are, start to pick from there, instead of just TikTok. I mean, TikTok is cool, but I don't think that's the platform. Maybe it's some, I'll call it dealer or retailer specific platforms.
But I think we are seeing a lot of dealers try to build that engagement, right? As you were talking about through TikTok.
And that their presence out there, because you have a generation that's where their life is. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for recommendations. So do you see the industry having to embrace these other social channels?
So that's a different question.
Yeah.
Bet that.
Bet that.
Bet
Okay.
that. Embrace.
All right.
Embrace. Yeah. I don't think that's where they're going to go to say, hey, I'm going to go price it and do all these things. There's other sites that are in my mind better. Right. And I hear them say that are better. Oh, they use TikTok for a lot of things to get them started. But that part about it, oh yeah, if you want to be successful, you have to have some kind of presence on TikTok and these other social sites. Yes, bet that.
All right, here we go. Here's the next one.
Let's go.
This is a little bit more on the segmentation front. Women will drive adoption of small, affordable EVs. If OEMs build them, women will drive adoption of that segment. Bet it or forget it.
Ask the question one more time.
So small, affordable EVs, women will drive adoption of that segment.
I want to add something to it, then I'm going to give you my answer. If those small, affordable EVs are CUVs or small SUVs, bet that.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, why do you say that?
Women are the leaders in the CUV adoption, period. Women drive that. It's a huge percentage. Don't quote me on the number because they don't have it in front of me right now. But women were the first ones to cross over and say, this thing called a CUV, we like it. It meets all of our needs. Small car handling, but SUV capability with the hatch in the back, et cetera, fold down seats. EVs continue to go that way. And then once we start to answer their questions and get them over some of their concerns, range anxiety and other things, yes, bet that. Heavy bet. Double down.
Okay.
All right.
I love it. All right. I think we have time for one more.
One more. Are we going with the $1 million chip here?
Oh, yes. Let's do that.
Yes,
Let's do one more.
$1 million here. You ready to wage $1 million?
I'm ready to wage your $1 million. Yes.
One more, better to forget it. Then we'll do the $1 million chip.
Okay.
Better than forget it.
Better to forget it. Here we go. Dealers will start reporting DE&I metrics just like CSI scores. Bet it or forget it.
So let me first put a caveat out there. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I've never used the acronym DE&I. I've always just talked about how dealers can lean in and be more inclusive with growth audiences to help their bottom line. So now if we take out the DEI acronym, I'm going to say, yes, dealers need to be more inclusive of all their consumers, as I started earlier, because they want to include the feedback from so they can ultimately sell to everybody. And I think that's important if dealers make sure that they don't put any barriers or any exceptions in their customer base.
I love that.
I love that.
Okay, so here's the final question. If we were to give you a poker chip,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Worth $1 million. Now, this is your dealer hat. Put your dealer hat on.
It's on.
$1 million poker chip.
1 million.
Where are you betting that in your investment? Where are you investing that chip in your dealership?
Where am I investing that chip in my dealership? When you say within my dealership, and you're talking about new versus used versus fixed ops versus
Your group.
parts.
You're a dealer. You have a group. Where are you investing that money?
Where's
$1 million chip. Give me a second. Oh, it's easy.
Oh, go.
My
He's got
$1
one.
million
He's got an answer ready.
No, I'm going to tell you, my $1 million chip is going on community outreach in my area on behalf of my respective brand or OEM.
And tell us why.
Because if I don't get people into my showroom or my retail space, nothing in my dealership works. I have to fill that space up constantly with people from all walks of life to sell them new cars, used cars, certified pre-owned, parts, supplies, apparel, everything. But to get you to do that, you have to either be physically in my shop or virtually on my website. So that's what I want to do. I want to invest that money into the community to make everybody aware I am here. I've got everything you need. I can meet all your needs, and we are ready for you. So they fill my shop day in and day out.
Well, there's your $1 million.
Pretty sound advice.
$1 million process to grow your business.
It's hard to ignore that advice, right? If you're a dealer listening to this, pay attention to what Marc is saying. Where can people find more of what you have to say and what your thoughts are on the industry?
Yep. So, well, here, if you're here in town in Vegas, we have 3 booths in the area. One for S&P. We also own Carfax. And we also own Automotive Mastermind, which deals specifically with dealers. So they're there. The team is there to help you. You can also go to spglobal.com and get all the information about Marc Bland and all the other great and smart people at the company, because we're all here to help and serve.
We can't thank you enough for joining us, spending some time to give us some really incredible insights.
It was my honor on behalf of S&P Global, but thank you all. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Marc.
We really appreciate you joining us today on The Walk Around, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow us. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Walk Around.